Cisco.
We had an Olivia Newton-John reference earlier in the show.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
Catch it on the re-air. No, catch it on the... No, we're closer to it now, getting to it than we were on. Yeah, we can do it.
That was for us.
Great song.
So was you.
We have to include the viewers. We have to include the viewers.
Yes.
Let's include them in Throwdown Thursday show.
All right. Yeah.
Let's do
it.
Cowboys Niners. I know, but first let's include
Cowboys Niners.
I know. Let's talk Cowboys Niners. We got a lot to talk about, but let's start with Tom Pelissero. News from around the league, please, Pelissero. What's happening that we need to be aware of?
Well, Jamie, head coaching searches roll on for 5 teams, and all eyes continue to be on Sean Payton. He's already interviewed with the Texans, spoke with the Broncos about their head coaching job on Tuesday. On Friday, he is set to meet with the Carolina Panthers. Now, any team wants to hire Payton would need to work out a trade with the Saints, who still have Payton under contract through 2024. That price tag is not going to be cheap, a first-round pick and potentially more. Denver continues to seem like the most logical fit, but their search rolls on. They also spoke with Raheem Morris on Tuesday. Today they interviewed DeMeco Ryans. And on Friday, another one of their top candidates, Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, is set to speak with Denver. Meanwhile, the Cowboys say they are sticking with their kicker, Brett Maher, after Monday night's extra point debacle, but they are bringing in some insurance. Tristan Vizcaino signing with the practice squad on Wednesday. He's a player who had a brief stint with the Cowboys back in the 2020 offseason, has kicked with 4 teams over 3 years, including the Cowboys and Patriots this season, going 2 for 2 on field goals and 3 for 3 on extra points. Maher, of course, missed 4 consecutive extra points on Monday night, 5 in a row if you go back to his miss in Week 18 before he finally did make one against the Bucs. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys head coach, says we are going to forge ahead. However, if Maher struggles in practice this week, you could see Tristan Vizcaino in a really big spot on Sunday in the divisional playoff against the 49ers. Jamie?
Can you imagine a scenario that we have watched the Cowboys over the last couple of weeks and Brett Maher, and then it all comes down to a Tristan Vizcaino kick? Or, I mean, this is what we're talking about ahead of divisional weekend. It's unbelievable. Pelissero, thank you very much.
Let's go for 2.
Keep it on. Yeah, just go for 2. It's a very simple solution.
It's
Thursday. It's 9 a.m. That means it's time for a NFL executives' favorite segment of the show, which Kyle says will remain nameless, but they love this part of the program each week. Throwdown Thursday. All right, Brock Purdy has rocketed into the national spotlight from being the final player selected into the 2022 draft to being 1 win away from playing in an NFC championship game. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott led the Cowboys to their first road playoff win in 30 years. And now they're set to face off on Sunday evening. It's going to be awesome. So I put forward this question. What would be the bigger national story come Monday morning? Would it be Dak Prescott and a Cowboys win, or Brock Purdy and a 49ers?
Incredible question. I love it because we're all journalists as well. Now we're in the sports media game, and the question is, which one is a bigger... If the Cowboys go into San Francisco and Dak Prescott goes into the place where the catch took place, goes into the place where Aikman couldn't get the best of Steve Young in the 94 NFC Championship game, and Dak Prescott gets the best of Brock Purdy and that 49ers defense, watch out for Monday. Like, it's going to be a Sunday night game, so this game starts at 6 Eastern. It's probably going to end around 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be on air less than 12 hours later, and we'll be geeking out. Cowboys' first NFC Championship game appearance since 1995. Cowboys with Mike McCarthy on the sideline, long parodied, often the pinata of jokes around the league for game management and inability to win in a big spot. Cowboys go in and beat Tom Brady, and they go and beat the Niners in San Francisco and are on their way to an NFC Championship game. I love the Niners story. We've seen him the last few years, and I love Purdy's deal. That's probably the second biggest story this week. But number 1 would be a Niners NFC Championship berth. Wake up, Michael Irvin. Wake up, Troy Aikman. And I'm here for the talk on this show on Monday morning.
There's a saying, everything's bigger in Texas, and I think you're right to that point. If they win, it's going to be a big moment. But I'll take the underdog story. If Brock Purdy finds a way to win this football game with the 49ers, give me all the underdog stories. Look, Kurt Warner just had his movie come out, The Underdog. This guy, to do what he has done, and if they happen to go on and win the Super Bowl, no team has ever won a Super Bowl with their 3rd quarterback. But this would be an unbelievable story, not just for Brock, but I think also for Kyle Shanahan and for John Lynch. When you think about what they've done with this team, trading for Christian McCaffrey during the middle of the season, battling through the injuries with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, and did they even keep Jimmy Garoppolo? I think that stuff is going to rise to the forefront, and we'll keep talking about it too, because it'll be a Cowboys loss. It'll be the fact that they lost the game.
True.
That will be a big part of the story. Can't believe Dak didn't get it done. Can't believe McCarthy didn't get it done. So it's kind of a little bit of both truths.
If the Niners win the Super Bowl, it's Purdy. Even if they get to the Super Bowl, it's Purdy in the Super Bowl. If the Cowboys win this game, this is the bigger story. They're in a title game. This has not happened since I was a freshman in high school. This is a massive deal. The Brock Purdy thing we've kind of celebrated for weeks already. We've already done the Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy's just cruising, just doing his. It's not really a story anymore. To his credit, the Cowboys thing is massive, because it's not only the title game, like Peter said. They didn't go through some random team you plug and play there. They have a team you go through history with. They have a team that is the hottest team in the league that hasn't lost in it feels like 3 months. This will be Cowboys Christmas on Monday morning if they win that game, and believe me, if they lose, it'll be the opposite.
Yes.
You know, we were not sick of, but we were kind of getting dizzy with all the different playoff permutations a couple of weeks ago. But the permutations still exist in the sense that, like, I look at the 8 teams left, and I consider, like, what it would look like next weekend in the conference championship. And, like, Eagles, Cowboys would be cool. Giants, Cowboys would be cool. The point is the Cowboys, to me, on the other side of that, is like the sexier matchup, if you will, next weekend. So I'm going to go Monday morning Cowboys. I'm going to say if the Cowboys win, 49ers are really good. They're really talented. But if they don't win this game, you could say, like, well, yeah, they're on their 3rd quarterback. If the Cowboys win this game, all of a sudden they're starting to prove people wrong that had them done and buried in a season where they're just so doubtful on them in January and in the postseason. Let's move to the other side of the ball, because we just talked about the quarterbacks. Cowboys, Niners, 2 terrors coming off the edge for both of these teams. I'm talking about Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa. Who will wreak more havoc on Sunday, Peter, between these 2 gentlemen?
First, logistic, a lingual. Is it wreak havoc or wreak havoc?
Glad you brought that up.
Wreak.
Do you wreak anything other than havoc? And is havoc ever delivered any way other than being wreaked?
Yeah.
What a weird phrase.
Wreak, and I think you said it right.
Reek of arrogance.
Wreak havoc.
That's a different
But
wreak.
I have... you talk. And
you think it's wreck?
I think it's wreck,
No, wreck is
havoc, but it's wreck shop maybe.
Yeah,
right?
but it's different spelling.
Wreak havoc.
This is wreaking.
This is my way of avoiding the answer to this question, because I'm petrified to answer and piss either one of these guys off.
Yeah.
They're both playing so well right now. Nick Bosa was unblockable in Saturday's game against Seattle. He proved why he is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, meanwhile, had his best game of the season against Tampa Bay and destroyed that offensive line, lining up everywhere on the field. My answer is, I'm going to go with the guy who's been most consistent this year. Nick Bosa is going to have the bigger game. I think Dallas's offensive line played really well on Monday night against Tampa's front, but I think they're in for a whole other battle when they're going up against Armstead and they're going up against this guy and, of course, all the other folks that are on that San Francisco defensive line. If San Fran beats Dallas, it's because Dak Prescott was under pressure the entire game and Bosa just did what he's done all season. He's my Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he's going to be the best defensive player in the field on Sunday.
Peter, clarification. Anything that brings me to grammarist.com is a great day. Wreak is a rare verb most common in British English. It means to bring about. Wreak is to bring about in British English. So to wreak havoc is about widespread destruction.
Ooh.
Havoc may wreak, like it might smell, but it may cause a wreck. But to wreak havoc or wreck havoc are nonsensical phrases.
So you...
Destruction.
Wreak havoc.
Wreak havoc.
Wreak havoc.
Widespread destruction. I think
Nonsensical
I saw them in concert in
phrases.
98. They were
It was
amazing.
widespread panic.
Oh.
So
Wreak havoc. Hey, Sean, what's up?
Yeah, both these 2 guys are O-linemen's nightmares. So, and when you have sack reels and you're going through as an offensive line, like, all right, how do we stop this guy? How do we slow this guy down? The challenge with Micah Parsons is he's everywhere. They don't just line him up at defensive end. He's got the linebacker. He's lined up over the A-gap. That being said, I think Nick Bosa, when you look at the destruction that he has caused all season long, the amount of tackles that he has run through in the NFL this season, it doesn't matter if it's speed, if it's power, he's got all the moves. Here's my concern for the Dallas Cowboys right now. You mentioned that the offensive line played really well against the Bucs. They were one of the worst pass blocking units this year, and that's with Zach Martin, a perennial Pro Bowler. Jason Peters got hurt in that Bucs playoff game. He left with a hip injury. They had to move Tyron Smith back to left tackle, right? Tyron Smith is at right tackle. So you've got a left tackle playing right tackle. You've got a rookie at left tackle. Bosa, you know, choose your own adventure here, which one you want to go attack. I think Bosa wreaks the most havoc. He led the league in quarterback pressures this season. I think it's going to continue.
I choose my own adventure, Micah Parsons. I'll turn to page 11. A little bit more versatile. He's going against a rookie quarterback who's never seen him before. I'll go with Parsons.
I'm going to go with Bosa, and I want to move on to the next question because I'm very excited about this. I'm going to go with Bosa. I think, to Peter's point, consistency is key, and I think if you put Dak Prescott under pressure, a little bit more likely, as we've seen, to maybe throw the ball.
Maybe so.
Wreak some havoc on the Cowboys offense. All right. Let's go to the AFC in Kansas City. The student takes on the master. We just talked about this a little bit at the end of last hour. Which is the better signature look? Is it Doug Peterson's visor or Andy Reid's mustache? I know.
Signature. The question is it